Got an
That shit
itch
smells
for
like
gunpla.
that shit smells like maple syrup.
Yeah.
It's coffee? Was it?
It's coffee flavor.
I love the way it smells. I
very-
want coffee flavored. No maple syrup. Coffee. I want coffee flavored maple syrup. Okay.
Coffee flavored maple syrup.
Yes, coffee.
That might work.
Instead of putting sugar or creamer into your coffee, you could maybe put a little bit of maple syrup and mix it.
I really wonder what that tastes
Maybe
like.
a dash of milk.
I'm legit seriously considering doing that tomorrow morning.
Experiments in
I mean, it's
technology.
maple syrup is sugar,
Right,
You
yeah.
know? It's like maybe putting like agave or
That's true. Have you guys ever put brown sugar into your coffee?
I have
No.
not.
That actually tastes really fucking good.
Yeah, because brown sugar has like a almost caramelly
Yeah,
taste to
yeah.
it, so I imagine that's pretty good.
I'm so addicted to coffee, it's ridiculous. Anyways, hi. This is Game and Dine episode 3.
3.
3. The Order.
This is the Game and Dine podcast. The Order.
The Order. And we're here. I'm sorry. I keep thinking about the smell. I love how it smells.
It smells really good.
It does.
Wait, you want to hit?
Yeah, I want to hit of that.
It's coffee.
Just if you guys are wondering, coffee is code for crack.
Smoke up.
Smoke up.
Oh, it even feels good. When I do eventually get that
A lot
vape,
of crackheads tend to say that.
when I do eventually get that vape, I've been thinking about getting for like 3 years now. I want to have a bottle of that shit. Is that nicotine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna die anyways. It's fine.
But also had an option of what he would call banana farts.
Banana farts, yes.
Banana farts. That's it.
It's the artificial banana flavor that they use,
Which is actually a real banana flavor.
which is apparently a real banana flavor. Was that the primordial banana flavor?
It's just a banana that is now extinct.
Apparently, artificial banana used to be real banana, which is odd.
That's really weird. Why they call it artificial banana then?
Well, because
No, it's not that it's called artificial banana. We call it artificial.
Oh, we call it
banana.
artificial banana.
So like the taste is
Right,
like like the artificial taste that they use on like runts and I'm trying to think of other like banana like candies or snacks.
The little banana shaped one that you get when you put a quarter in. And
Yeah, those are runts.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
Um,
I don't know the name.
No, I get it. Yeah.
well, that flavor, like they use it also for vape. Like I can't
To be fair,
stand it.
they don't exist. That flavor doesn't exist anymore, and it has to be artificially created. So it is technically still a artificial banana.
It sucks. I hate it.
Well, I'm Todd, one of your hosts as always, and I'm joined by Capello. Hi, Capello.
Hello.
It's been a week.
Yeah, it has been a week.
Yeah, it's pretty okay week. How about you? How have you been? It's Ben to my left.
It's all right.
All right, good. I'm glad.
Not too bad.
No.
Got the itch
for what?
gunpla.
Is that what you were talking about doing this coming week?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to. You know what? We should do a time lapse of him making it.
That would be fun, except that he already
I
started.
already started it.
That's fine. Wherever you're from right now.
I have most of the internal body.
Maybe it'd be better if we do it from scratch. Next time you do it, tell me.
Oh, you're never gonna get this one again.
What do you mean?
Like this is.
No, next time you do it, Gundam.
Okay. Well,
I think about time lapsing it.
Yeah,
I think that time lapse video, even sped up, would probably be like 30 minutes because it takes a while to make a Gundam.
depends on what.
No, I can pick a speed that'll make it go.
If
less.
I'm going for just OBB, I could probably speed run it, and then for panel lining, Dine and probably maybe a wee bit of paint and decals, I could probably do that aside.
Anything you like? How about them decals?
Anything you like.
Guys, welcome. This is actually not Game and Dine. This is the Gunpla. This is the Gunpla podcast.
That was actually a Final Fantasy 15 stick.
Shtick.
Yeah.
Shtick.
I'm here to play.
Cindy, if you can loop her to just continually say anything you like, how about them decals? Anything you like, how about them decals?
Imagine that as like a standee in a retail store.
Oh God,
Clicking it over
that
and
would
over
be
and over
that
again.
would be so terrible.
That would be fucking horrible.
I hope you get one of those at your job, and I'd go in just to stare at you while I poke at it for a solid 10-15 minutes.
You know what? When I first started working at that store, I guess, well, it was last year when, I guess when the new WWE 2K, whatever, the wrestling game, whenever that one came out, in the middle of the ceiling, we had this, like, I guess like this weird, like, roundabout banner for WWE, and anytime I think somebody passed it, one of the wrestlers would yell.
Get up.
It was fucking stupid because it would just activate just over and over and over and over, and I think we took it down before marketing because we just couldn't stand it.
I bet.
It's the dumbest thing.
You could have probably just dicked with the
with
scene
the-
after
with
you
the-
had
yeah,
and just put
that's
it back
true.
up.
Just make it super slow.
Ironically, I think someone came in and like, hey, that thing's really cool. Can I have it when it comes down? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you would
I'll
do with
bring
this.
it down just for you.
Just for you,
Just
right?
for
You want to
you.
take it now? Take it, please. You're doing us a favor.
More on this when we get to the leftovers.
Sure. Yeah.
But
we
for now, what are we ordering, Todd?
I like how you did that, and I'm gonna just mention really quickly, Capello. Thank you for putting us back on the rails. I'm glad you're doing this.
This is our news discussion segment.
You're right.
so-
This is our news discussion segment. So, the first thing I guess I wanted to mention: some lucky customer got a hold of their Switch order really fucking early, like really fucking early,
like 2 weeks.
2 weeks early. You know,
Lucky bastard.
lucky bastard, and did an unboxing video, which I think by now is down. I would imagine.
Probably.
But even then, like, people have gotten their hands on the Switch, like, at Best Buys and stuff, so, I don't know.
I'm sure there's some sort of NDA.
For like the extremities of like the box itself. So apparently, Nintendo eShop purchases will finally be tied to your Nintendo account and not the console you have at hand. And I took this from Polygon.com, which I'll link in the description below. So according to the fine print glimpsed in the recent unboxing video, the fine print, like, you see part of it, like in the video, because I remember watching the video. But in case, if you get to see that video, and if I find it, I'll link it below. You really can't see what it says, but it says exactly this. Your Nintendo account contains your eShop purchase history and current balance. By re-linking your Nintendo account after initializing the console, it will be possible to re-download any software or DLC purchased using that account. Software that has been discontinued may not be available to re-download in some cases. So this is what people have been waiting for a long time. People have been discussing this ever since, like the Wii and then the 3DS were kind of starting out. This is fantastic. It's Nintendo kind of getting with the times a little slower, per usual, right?
Yeah, nothing new there.
Nothing new there, but I think that's for some people that say, oh, I don't want to necessarily like sell my Wii U, you know, because I have all these purchases and I don't know if it's gonna move over. You know, now I think it's less of a worry. You know, you don't have to buy the same game over again for the third time, fourth time. Mm-hmm. So I think this is good stuff. It's good news. What I'm really just kind of weirded out again about is why didn't they discuss this before? It would have been such a huge talking point when they revealed the Switch or did that conference a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's definitely something that they really should have mentioned, even in passing. Like, I suppose it really didn't stop the initial hit. It wouldn't have stopped the initial hit of disappointment still, but, you know, it might have been like something cool, you know, like a nice bullet point or counterpoint to all the naysayers. It's just a good thing, right? Like all the other companies so far, they have games tied to your account.
Yeah.
So should your console break or should you get a new console, a better console down the line, you can just re-download those games and you have them, you know?
Yeah, basically. I think that with the Switch in particular, it's really important because the Switch is basically a tablet.
Yeah.
So if it breaks, there is no replacing a part. You have to replace the whole thing.
Likely.
Does this, like, you know, put you more favorably with the Switch, Benny? Or are you not the kind of person that really dwelled in, like, virtual console stuff previously?
No, I never really did a whole heck of a lot. I mean, on my DS, if anything, I have a couple of games purchased through there. But it doesn't change my point of view of the Switch, which is that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't need to immediately jump on it.
Yeah.
I can probably wait a bit.
I think that's cool because I for the brief amount of time that I had a Wii U, I think maybe one of the only, I had like maybe 2 or 3 games I bought on Virtual Console, which one of them was Earthbound. That's going to be cool that if I ever get a Switch, I'll be able to play it there too. That's pretty cool on an official Nintendo console.
Yep.
I really hope that before the system comes out, which at this point only a sliver of time that they reveal a little more about it officially, That just seems like the best way to go. I don't understand. But this is good news for longtime Nintendo fans that have a massive catalog in their purchase history. So that's good. That's good stuff. And I think you mentioned before we started recording, which I hadn't heard, was that some developers even alluded to the idea of GameCube games coming to Virtual Console, which is awesome.
Yes, it's been a long-standing rumor since the Switch was announced, or not, perhaps like a couple of months ago when it was officially announced in its commercial, that there was a good chance that GameCube games would show up on the Switch and with Virtual Console. This would be a really cool thing to happen. We're getting like even more and more people like sort of like hinting at it or sort of mentioning it on Nintendo's side. So yeah, GameCube games would be a really welcome addition to the Switch. I don't know if it's final. It could still be like, being mulled around by Nintendo, but should it happen, it would be a good thing.
Yeah, that would be pretty great. I mean, especially right now where, the launch lineup, or at least for the next couple months, relatively for the next couple months, it seems kind of light until at least E3, right, that we're aware of. A back catalog of Nintendo classics from the GameCube era would be pretty cool, too.
Mm-hmm. I personally would love to see the Metroid Prime series.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are fantastic games.
It'd be really cool.
I would love to replay them. I only really played the first one, never played the second or third one. So
also Crystal Chronicles, because you can land that, and which means if they would probably have to do a like on Squeenix's side, they would probably have to do like a remake or a remaster or something. But the fact that you could land Crystal Chronicles without the Game Boys and just play with people, it'd be really cool.
Pretty dope. Next story, I guess, if we're going to move on. Microsoft has revealed that their Xbox E3 press briefing is going to be on June 11th at 2 p.m., and that's a Sunday. Mm-hmm. They are joining the likes of Bethesda, who has done it on Sunday for the past 2 years, as well as Electronic Arts, which last year they had it for the first time. Not a great conference, but they had it on Sunday. So now that's three major publishers, and one of the big three moving away from the traditional E3 slots of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday being the actual conferences. Now it's on a Sunday.
Yeah. Do they have the list of what's going to happen in the other days?
Not yet. No. I'm pretty sure we'll see some of those come up very soon. Bethesda hasn't confirmed whether they're going to have a conference this year or not. Oh, no. They have confirmed, but they haven't confirmed when. Okay. I wouldn't imagine that they would deviate from the Sunday slot. That just seems like it makes sense because, when they reveal Fallout 4, it was the talk of the town at the earliest possible time in the week, right?
Mm-hmm. I hope they do that again. A lot like Fallout 4, where like, hey guys, this game, what do you think? Also, 1 month from now.
Right. Or,
bye.
Yeah, basically. Or like, in Fallout's case, like 6 months.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It was a very short amount of time.
Very short amount of time. I think that this just further shows how quickly the actual relevancy, at least for the publishers, that E3 is becoming. Like, it's just kind of going away. Because, yeah, it's still during E3 week, but on Sunday, it's not done in a hall or a showroom that's like E3 sanctioned, I guess, So, because like for the Bethesda one, they have it in a place where they can bring the public in. Because they did the past few years, they've had the public in there. Mm-hmm. I had a friend who was in last year, because they have like a specific amount of seats put away for fans and stuff. So I just think that this is really telling about E3, despite them recently announcing, which you talked about last week, them opening up to the public.
Mm-hmm. It's a sign that there may be not enough to justify like a full 3 days of E3,
right,
where mostly everything can be packed into maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Really, the only reason to have it open for so long now would be so that people can get hands-on like time. The public can get hands-on time with the games that are coming up or that are going to be announced, things for demos, things like that.
I'm really curious to see like what the schedule is for the rest of like you said already, like which publishers are going to have conferences again and which ones are going to pull out, because it seems like for Monday, you're going to have probably the Sony press conference in the evening. Square Enix, maybe they had one last year, right?
Yeah. They're likely to do it because there's some stuff mulling about for the Final Fantasy VII remake and Kingdom Hearts 3, including like Project Octopath Traveler that they can show off. Like Square Enix is likely going to have a presence.
It's not like they weren't a big publisher before, but now it feels that way in terms of how much stuff that they actually have under the hood that's coming out and it's like active development. And then Ubisoft, of course.
Yeah.
And then the Nintendo Direct. Well, wouldn't it be crazy if Nintendo said, hey, we're going to also do our Direct on Sunday too?
I don't think they would want to cram so much to,
In
you
one
know,
day.
they obviously don't want to clash with another person's conference because they have a chance to do their thing whenever they want.
Yeah,
right.
basically.
So like, why not have a spot all on its own? What I'm curious on Nintendo's case is if they're going to have a Direct at all this year, because clearly they would have stuff to announce and, you know, stuff to show off, but what if their time slot isn't in that E3 window?
Oof,
you know?
I think that's kind of
Like, what if it, like, and because of, like, the things that they've announced with the Switch and the fact that they really haven't shown off any games yet, I really feel like Nintendo may skip E3 this year and just say, we're going to have a Direct sometime after E3.
right.
Like, maybe during the summer.
I wouldn't be, you know what, that really wouldn't surprise me. But I think that because everything is going on during E3, I think it's pivotal for them to show their future lineup for the Switch. I mean, the console's going to literally be like 3 months into its lifespan. They need to show more, man. And you're right. Eventually they will, but I think that E3 just makes, despite its relevancy kind of dwindling, it still makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good, like, that E3 is a gamer holiday, so like the developers like to like squish all of their hype stuff into those few days for E3
into that week.
and then like maybe down the line show bigger stuff in their own conferences, but there's still a point to showing things off at E3. I'm just saying I don't think Nintendo will have anything by E3. Like, it really feels that way. The best that they can do is maybe more Mario Odyssey stuff.
They definitely need to show more of that, or showcase it like they have Zelda. Like really put out like a 10-20 minute demo of it.
Now, what would be fantastic is, you know, like 3 months into the Switch's life, you know, E3 pops up and it's like, hey, look at all this cool shit that we didn't tell you about, you know. But
that'd be cool.
I don't like, considering how weak the Switch announcement was. I don't have that much faith
Confidence.
in Nintendo right now, you know.
Yeah, I know, I don't either. But maybe they would have a Direct like a week or two after the Switch is out. Like, hey, maybe the response is
now
going to
that
be,
it's in your hands.
now that it's in your hands, we'll keep
some
that ball
stuff we're
rolling.
making.
Right. You know, release some of that Mario Odyssey and then keep the ball rolling, because I think that's what Sony did with PlayStation 4. They kept the ball rolling, and it slowed down a little bit. Yeah, it slowed down a little bit. It's still going fairly strong for the past couple of years. So I look forward to watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, E3 is always exciting, regardless of what I'm saying about its relevancy kind of dwindling. It's still a cool thing.
Yeah, it's an awesome gamer holiday, you know.
Well, we'll have to wait a little while. What's up?
Is E3 equivalent to the Super Bowl, but for
Absolutely.
gamers?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, except you can't attend it. Well, now you can.
Now you can.
Now you can.
Now you
Now you can. I'm pretty sure it's sold out by now. Yeah, Super Bowl.
E3, the Super Bowl for gamers.
Yeah, because people still see it as teams. Everyone wants, the big question that like so many publications like, oh, which of the
Like, who won? Like, who
like,
won E3? Like,
and it's like the past
gamers won E3.
Yes, the past couple of years has been like, yeah, gamers won because Sony and Microsoft are competing head to head, and they want you to buy their console.
That's always good for.
That's always good for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good for us. All right, next item is one that I know very little about, but I knew that this would come up, so I suggested it beforehand.
Right, Monster Hunter.
Some bullshit.
Did you know the Monster Hunter demo came out in Japan for Monster Hunter Cross?
Okay,
Cross?
is that for
Double
3,
Cross.
for 3DS?
Double Cross.
3DS?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the gameplay of it?
Hell yeah.
You like it?
Fuck yeah.
Someone who will not be playing Double Cross, however, is
North America.
Is North America.
Trump's America.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Also PewDiePie.
Also,
We're going to be talking about PewDiePie.
Right. So
right, back on the train.
back on the train. Thank you. Thank you, Capello. So, my interpretation of this is that PewDiePie said some shit about Jewish people or something, some jokes. Disney didn't like that because Disney owns Maker. They fired him, sort of fired him, and then the people on the internet started attacking him or supporting him, and now he's like, fuck y'all. I don't know. What's going on?
It's you got the order a little wrong
from
what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Being there was a little bit of a scandal a bit earlier before where he got some people kicked out of Fiverr.
Mm-hmm.
And he got, himself in a little bit of hot water for making these two people hold a
sign
that said, what was it?
Death to all Jews.
Death to all Jews, and they were laughing and whatnot.
And the thing with that video was, it wasn't the fact that Death to all Jews was the back thing, the background to the fact that Fiverr, like you can make anyone pretty much do anything.
View.
Yeah, anything for $5. Like people will do the most craziest crap. They'll say whatever.
I think he also paid a dude that looks like Jesus to say Hitler did nothing wrong. Now this is out of context, but again, Capello was giving the context in that Fiverr is just people who will do anything. You just give them $5, right. Tell them what to do, and they'll do it. And so PewDiePie or Felix, he wanted to see how far will people go, and he like people won't support Hitler, right? That's so out of whack. Mm-hmm. And the guy went for it.
Well, hold on, no, not anymore.
Oh man, some people will support Hitler.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue. Sorry,
but like he was expecting, he was expecting the back down, and people went full hard. You paid me, I'll do it. And so he kept looking for like how far will people go,
right?
And everyone, I didn't see the video, but I think everyone went ahead and went through with it. That's what got him
a good number. Water. Yeah, like a lot of those people, like you basically, the point was that you could make anybody on the site do anything for $5, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people thought that was, the jokes were in poor taste. So, a lot of people came out and said, well, PewDiePie is anti-Semite, he's alt-right, whatever have you. PewDiePie's a Nazi.
Right.
And
so
clickbait stuff started coming out.
So the media, basically, like the popular media, basically started reporting on this, saying that it was as fact that PewDiePie was, again, an anti-Semite.
Anti-Semite, yeah.
Which everything like almost like 90% of those of the articles written, and all 90% were headline clickbait, right?
Absolutely.
They were trying to bait in people to come in, and they were trying to push their agenda that PewDiePie was a Nazi and whatever, which it isn't true.
I really don't have a huge opinion on this because first of all, I never watch any of that dude's content. I will say that the one time I saw him in person, didn't meet him, but I saw him in person. I think I mentioned this to you a couple years ago. I was at PAX. I was in line for Game Grumps, and he was in the row next to us, and he was consoling this little girl who had waited in line, but was too afraid to was too nervous to meet him. And he was I'm pretty sure the dude had a packed schedule. He sat there the entire time I was in line with her. And I think that. That doesn't really... I know that probably doesn't say much, but
it's a gesture,
I just hardly think that this guy is a Nazi.
Right.
I don't think he is.
You can talk to almost anybody in the industry that knows him, that has worked with him, and right. he's a good guy.
Right, yeah.
He made... what he did was he made jokes that may have been in poor taste,
sure.
or,
But everyone does that at some point, I think.
It's no holds barred for the sake of comedy.
Yeah.
That's it's like a rule for, comedians can, or their thing is to push the limits.
That's what they're there for.
Mm-hmm. That's the way it goes,
Right.
Comedians, they have that free reign because it's free speech, and they're trying to make fun of the subject, trying to make people laugh. They're not trying to do it through hatred or, to bring anybody down.
Right.
And Felix himself in his video said that, I'm not a really good comedian. I feel like what I did wasn't necessarily right.
Yeah.
But I really didn't mean anything by it.
Right,
I do apologize for those who were offended and things like that.
Sure.
Which great to him for owning up to it.
Right.
It really, people who see that video, if they are already biased against him, they won't really get anything out of it. For people who love his content,
Watch his stuff
watch him
religiously.
regularly. Like, it's good that he gave them an explanation.
Right.
And even more, it's good that he addressed all of the, all the shitty clickbait people. And he basically, in that video, he told them to fuck off, straight up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he told them to try again because, for one, yes, Maker did drop him.
Yeah.
YouTube canceled his Red show.
And they have a right to do that, to be fair.
They do.
They have an absolute right to do that.
They have, like, he himself said, I understand completely,
This hot water is what put him in there. Yeah.
But everybody who was saying, oh, this is the fall of PewDiePie, this is how he
His
goes
death.
down.
No.
PewDiePie. No. The man
All it
continues
did
to
is-
rise in subs.
Yeah.
This stuff did not stop him. Maker letting him go is a big mistake because now they're not going to get his revenue. And he basically has his
He has
pick
no one
of
to answer now.
anybody.
Answer to.
No, yeah. He can totally fly solo if he wanted, or he has the pick of any
network.
any network. Any network that he wants. It's his.
Right, yeah.
Some people probably won't go for him because of the weird stuff, but like,
but some like the controversy, and it's more viewers, it's more everything.
The people who already watch him like him for his content and who
They're not
he
gonna
is.
stop
They're
watching
not going
him.
to stop. They're not going to stop watching him.
And real quick, like you said about like 90% of the articles just being clickbait, I totally agree with. I think I did see some instances, for example, like on Twitter, of people like attacking, different kind of websites where they were like talking about it, but they weren't like, no, like there are some articles that are not clickbait and don't have an agenda. Some of them are just trying to have a timeline of what happened, right? But yeah, like I think, like you said, this makes him even more, I wouldn't say attractive, but like it's just people are talking about him more probably now than in the past and a half year, I would imagine, right?
He's still gonna make a ton of money.
Absolutely,
He's still gonna there's no stopping his content.
Right.
He's still gonna be the top YouTuber.
I think this is just the steam that maybe even the more steam that he needed, just to like
It
go
could be
more into creative endeavors, possibly.
maybe.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Since like Benny said, he has no one to answer to now.
Yeah. And there's it's basically been like a big back and forth between like top YouTubers defending PewDiePie against the media,
Right.
who I don't know, like I can't really say anything except that the media right now, they're a bunch of opportunists, right? A lot of media outlets, they just want the views, they want the clicks. There are still plenty of reputable sources,
Absolutely.
reputable journalists, reputable places to go.
But unfortunately, I think this is the stuff that definitely kind of like it encompasses everything and makes the media side of things look bad overall. Still,
Right, which is a really it's a really trying thing because we really don't want that sort of weird divide where it's YouTubers versus the media.
Yeah.
It's like we want them to work with us, we want to work with them, but
and they're basically kind of the same thing.
yeah,
If you-
right.
Like overall, I don't mean like in the terms of the content, but like what they do, it's the same thing.
Yeah, right. They're a lot of people have taken this opportunity to basically sort of put the media in a light that they're kind of like scared, like they're
Losing relevancy.
they're losing relevancy. They're trying to attack them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's true at all. YouTube is only a drop in the sea, and not everybody watches YouTube.
Nope.
But it can in fact be said that like people who do YouTube journalism do everything that a high level journalist does, and they didn't get a degree for
Yeah.
it, and they get the same viewership, they get the same money.
Same level of knowledge is there.
Yeah, what a degree isn't what makes a good reporter a good reporter.
It's the work
It
behind
helps,
it.
but it is definitely the work behind that reporter, and
Yeah.
what that reporter is definitely able to put in.
Yeah.
And there's fault on both sides, right? There's the bad YouTube reporting. A lot of really gossipy networks that
No side
they
is
don't
perfect.
care. Yeah, no side is perfect. But we really don't want this divide between media and YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that benefits anybody really. And the world is becoming a little more and more divisive as time goes on. Unfortunately,
right? I think the focus should be on the content. Enjoy the content,
mm-hmm.
and if there's something in somebody's channel that you don't like, that there is a dislike button. You can dislike it if you want to go that far, and you just don't pay attention, or move on.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that I would imagine there have been channels in the past that have done some really heinous things that absolutely deserve to be like, hey, maybe tell this guy to fuck off, or like, not tell this guy to fuck off, but like, stay away from this channel. It's not worth your time. Totally. I don't think. I'm not into PewDiePie stuff. I've said this before, but I'm neutral about it. I think that. I don't think his stuff is malicious in any way.
No.
He's
being a comedian.
Right.
He acknowledges he's not a very good one.
Right.
He obviously wants to continue to improve.
Exactly. And he'll make mistakes along those improvements.
And there's a real interesting parallel to be made. Now I like Freddie Wong on Twitter linked an article about, what's the difference between like South Park's anti-Semitism and PewDiePie's, and I imagine like the argument he was trying to put in, because he was very much like scrutinizing PewDiePie over this, was that there's a right way to do things and there is like there's a wrong way to do them, and South Park has the more experience. They have they've always solidified themselves as a people who will do those kind of jokes, with no holds barred.
Yeah.
But I really want to sort of make the comparison that even South Park had to start somewhere, right? You know,
that they themselves got themselves in hot water every now and then for
exactly
all kinds of stuff.
More than their fair share of things.
And they're
still on air.
Yeah, they're still on air.
Their game still came out, censored every now and then in different places, but it still came out.
And really, there's like PewDiePie sees himself as a comedian. He's trying to do things for the sake of comedy and his own thing. The scrutiny that was brought to him by the media and like basically that they're almost biased against him is really telling, and it's completely for money. Like, they're not doing it because they want to write a narrative, really. They're doing it because a lot of people who don't care to do research or don't care to they just want outrage, right? They will go to their site.
The shocking report.
Yeah, they will see that shocking report. It's like, oh, I gotta read this, and they'll read it, and then they'll cast it to the back of their heads, and there you go. You gave them their AdSense, which is shitty. It's a really bad thing about our media culture right now.
It's the clickbait media.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's all.
And
to be fair to all of the clickbait media people, this is all just this is all the wimps of stupid people who don't care and just want to see something and want to be shocked and
they want to read something, pass the time.
It's all the apathetic people who are basically the AdSense, who are the product, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones fueling this sort of media.
Yeah.
But that's how media is right now,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And clickbait media, and just to kind of quickly go out of this realm a little bit, it's not just a problem in games, in the game medium. It's the problem in, unfortunately, the stuff that's going on right now in this country, right? Like,
yeah.
So I think that the one thing I've made it a habit now to check stuff whenever I post it, like on Twitter or on Facebook. I will go and look at that account. If it's a Twitter account, I will go and look. Like, cause just because someone posts something and it went viral doesn't mean that necessarily you want to be retweeting it from, like, for example, a white nationalist or something who's like, you don't know, it's like, hey, that's a funny meme. Oh, it's from a white nationalist that made it. So maybe there's some kind of other connotations or some kind of agenda behind it. So now it's like, whenever I look at tweets and I find them funny or I laugh at them, I look at the person's profile because the source is super important, especially for news. I always look before I post anything on base. I always look at the source.
Yeah.
Always.
It's just, you need to really take everything with a lens of skepticism.
It's the internet.
Yeah.
It's the internet. Don't believe half of the shit you read.
Yeah, and like I know a lot of friends who fall into that poor same like the same like boat full of sheep who like fucking they believe something immediately and then they'll post it and
and I've been there before,
I mean we can all be guilty of that crime, something that drives us or shocks us, we want to rally behind it. It's a group mentality.
Yeah.
But like that stuff, while it doesn't seem to do any harm initially, it does like
it's
psychologically. Yeah, it psychologically influences other people who also see it, right? Like when the Boston Marathon bombings came out, when on that day, they had flagged a Muslim man or a Sikh man, I think.
Yes, I remember this.
Who and they put him as a suspect and they put his picture online and it spread everywhere.
I think they were beating up anyone that looked remotely like him and stuff like that.
That poor man didn't have anything to do with it.
He didn't even live in he was a Canadian.
Yeah, and he had to be very careful, but he did come to the police and be like, I am no part of this. Please tell people.
I think he even worked for like some newspaper or something, and
probably,
I think so. I forgot. I remember because there was a short amount of time where I followed that thread, and then I saw him pop up, and I'm like, wait, this guy's saying that this is him and this is not. Yeah, this is not real.
And I know several people who are like who posted the man's picture saying it's like, oh, we need to catch this guy, like we need blah 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 blah, and it's like
person.
It wasn't even the right person.
He wasn't even in the country.
If you did like 3 seconds of research, you would have known that you're spreading an innocent man's face and putting him in danger.
And that's like you said, that puts him in danger, and that can be a real threat to someone's livelihood.
And it isn't as extreme vein as PewDiePie, but it has the same flavor.
But it could also lead to that. We've talked about how like it's a residual thing, and over time, the more conditioned you are to like read this stuff and believe it without doing some research. The same thing, like say, for example, like something terrible could happen, God forbid, like next week or something, or today or tomorrow, or right now, and then someone will put PewDiePie's picture and say, hey, this is the guy that did it, and everyone will retweet it. Like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? Like, people will believe it, and then the dude's life would be legit in danger. I know we kind of went on a tangent a little bit, but that's fine. But you made your point. Like,
it's the same flavor, right? Like the shitty wave media, reactionary
quick
clickbait.
Info, it's always been like that with media. Like, you gotta be the first with a hot story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of journalists right now
to the point where
like, it doesn't even matter if it's the truth. It's
you're the first one posting
there.
it. It's there.
It's a double-edged sword, right? Because things like that can, in fact, spread information effectively, but then you have people using it for their own gain.
Exactly.
Using it for the money. They don't care if it's the truth.
Yeah. Good clicks for their site. Again, do your research. Follow if you're somebody who reads news about anything, be it games or anything. Follow reputable people that do their research and are good sources of information that you need in your life, and just follow them.
I get all of my news from Philip DeFranco.
Right.
I feel like he's so moderate and so bent on like the truth that you can trust what he says, and so far really hasn't led
trustworthy dude.
Yeah, he hasn't led people down. Whenever he makes mistakes, he immediately fixes them. So
there aren't a lot of journalists because now it's just a lot of media personalities in gaming in particular. But one that I'll always go back to, I followed him for years, is Patrick Klepek, who was briefly at Kotaku for a little bit. Now he's at Vice's Waypoint, and was at Giant Bomb for a little bit too. He was the one who broke big stories like the one about Activision going into Infinity Ward and like kind of running them out of there. Remember when all that stuff was going on? It was a decade ago now. Mm-hmm. He's the one that came out where talked about how he got the scoop about Microsoft removing all the features from the Xbox One when they initially announced it, and some other stuff. I go to him for that kind of stuff because he is a trustworthy source. But that's just an example. Just know who you get your news from.
Yeah,
know it and spread that instead.
Yeah. Just do a modicum, a small little particle of research.
You're already browsing the web for
Yeah.
bullshit. Just do it.
Yeah.
Very true.
Check your facts, people.
Check your facts. All right. I think we're done with the order today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Later.
I want to get another hit of that, please.
More of the crack pipe.
It's a fucking beautiful thing. All right.